Listen, little children. He's talking to his children now. He's not talking to the world. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. Now, that's the thing that reveals the child of God. And to abide in him doesn't mean just positionally. That's true. You have a position in Christ. Never be disturbed. But it's also a practical consideration down here. If you are to abide him in fellowship and in service, these things must be given up. Now, I talked to a young man over at Phoenix, Arizona, the other day. Oh, he's a fine-looking young man. Came all the way out to the church. He says, Dr. McGee, I've been listening to you on the radio. I think you can help me. I'm an alcoholic. He said, I accepted Christ several years ago, and he says, I can go for a long time without drinking, and then I get drunk. And he says, I hate myself, and he told me a story. He began to weep, this fine-looking young fellow. He's an executive. And he says, I know eventually it'll affect my job if I keep this thing up. And I don't want to because I am a child of God. And Dr. McGee, don't tell me I'm not, because I have accepted Christ. I've done exactly what you said on the radio, and I've accepted him. And I've driven 50 miles to get here this morning. I didn't come to hear your sermon. I didn't hear it. I've come to ask you, is there a deliverance for me? And I told him there was. If he's got the nature of his father, there's one thing for sure. God will not let him be content and happy. That was an unhappy young man, the most unhappy young man I've seen in a long time. I told him, I said, every time you fall down, brother, go back to your Heavenly Father and tell him what you did, and you don't want to disgrace him again. And the day will come and he'll deliver you from that, because that's the story of other men. And that's the story of any sinner today who professes Christ and finds himself bound down by habit. God can and God will deliver you from it. And by the way, you happen to be talking to a fellow that knows something about that, because God, in a very marvelous way, intervened in my life. One side of my family, my mother's side, was German. And I want to tell you, they were heavy drinkers, the whole outfit. And my father was not an alcoholic, but he was a heavy drinker. And I want to tell you, I came up in that atmosphere, and I started out that way. I thank God, and I was just a boy. I thank God for a deliverance friend. I know he can deliver you, and he will deliver you from that. Now, let's move on. This is important. This deals with living right where we are today. You just can't go and take some little course and get the deliverance. You're going to have to call upon God for this and have real contact with him. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that committeth sin is of the devil. That's where sin began with him. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. He started out sinning. He lives in it. He's in rebellion against God all the time. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. And only Jesus Christ can deliver you. And if you go to him, don't even come to me, because I can't help you. And none of these others can help you either. But he can, the great physician, and I urge you to go to him with your